Please remember that I'm in Taiwan today, in Taipei at National Taiwan University, and that I will not be in class on Tuesday. As a consequence, I'm going to give you a little bit of a longer introduction here and a description of several videos that I've added to the class for today that I think are engaging and interesting, and that all of which give us some sense of hope about the future. The first thing I want you to do is to read Lester Brown's chapter from Plan B, the book Plan B, on feeding 8 billion people well. My first question for you as you read this, who's Lester Brown? Why would we read him, and who cares about Lester? The second thing I want you to do is be able to answer this question. What's the thesis of this chapter? If you could even take a minute to write down what's the main point or what's the main take-home point, or just scribble it in the margins. Oh, speaking about scribbling in the margins, this is my only copy of the book, and I thought it was a good chapter for you to read. Sorry about all my scribbles in the margins. What do you think are the most hopeful ideas that are presented in this chapter? Can you identify 2 or 3 of really hopeful ideas? Another thing I'd like you to do is be able to answer the question: why is the productivity associated with fertilizer slowing down? And why is the productivity associated with irrigation slowing down? Why would that be? What's going on there? Another question I have for you is, what the heck is multi-cropping? And what is fish polycropping? Multi-cropping, polycropping, what's that all about? Here's another question for you. What in the world does land ownership, or what's often called land tenure, have to do with land productivity? Why would the productivity of the land differ based on actually who owns the land? And then here are some other quick questions. Really quick, be able to say and write down how much grain it takes to produce a kilogram of beef, a kilogram of pork, a kilogram of chicken, and a kilogram of fish. And where do you think we should be making those investments? Now, after you read this chapter, what I'd like you to do is think, as you go about the day today, think about how the ideas in this chapter might relate to our campus. And I wonder if you can think of any small changes or small tweaks that you would recommend after reading this chapter to the management of, or the way in which we manage our campus, and the way in which we procure our food. And then I also like you to think, is there any huge idea, big change that you think we ought to make, or that you suggest is possible based on this chapter? So a small change and a big change. That's what I'd like you to think about. Now, the 3 videos. 3 videos are fun. John Liu's work on climate change in China and Ethiopia is really quite compelling. The video examples of the before and after are really quite something to see how in a few years, with a whole lot of work, people have dramatically altered the face of the landscape, and as a consequence, the productivity of the land, and think of the implications on their health, well-being, and welfare over time. I also want you to watch my buddy Jonathan Foley's work on agriculture, the TED Talk from Foley. Jonathan's a brilliant guy. I know him well. He's the director of the Earth Institute up there at the University of Minnesota, and he's done a great deal of work on agriculture. You don't have to watch the whole thing. Certainly watch the whole thing if you want to, but you can follow the notes below on the sections to watch. And then finally, one short video, kind of little promo video. It's less than 3 minutes, that looks at the changes in the Afghan landscape that are associated with doing similar kinds of irrigation practices that we saw in John Liu's video about China and Ethiopia. So those are the things for today. Focusing on agriculture and how in the world we're going to feed 8 billion people. You know, we're less than we're 0.8 billion people away from 8 billion people on the earth, and figuring out how to feed 8 billion is a big challenge, let alone 9 billion that are probably going to occur in your lifetime. I'll miss you, and I look forward to talking with you next week when I get back in town. Take care.